continue with our lesson. Okay, continuation. So we have seen that according to the laws, isn't it? According to the laws of cricket. According to the laws of cricket, what are things should be there? 2 umpires. Then the pitch should be of stump should be of 22 inches high, and the bail across them is 6 inches. Then the ball is between 5 and 6 ounce, and the 2 stumps are of 22 yards apart. And then in the year, what had happened? Again the changes had come when? That means the change bowlers, the batsman had to master time. Then immediate result was the replacement of the curved bat. Instead of the curved bat came the straight one. And in the year 1774, certain changes again came. Isn't it? What are the changes that came in the year 1774? The third stump came into common, isn't it? And 3 days instead of 5 days before, we have already seen. Starting was of it will last for 5 days and ending with a draw. And that 5 days has been reduced to 3 days. Up to there we had come. Now we are going to the next part. If you look at the game's equipment, equipments means all the things, materials, that is sports materials. Sports materials. What are the things it needed? Okay. What are the things it needed? You can see how cricket both changed with changing times and yet fundamentally remained true to its origin in rural England. So at that time it was the bat. How was the bat? Having a curve, isn't it? Curve at the end. And in 1774, where 70s, in the 1970s, what had happened? The curveness has been changed and it was made into a straight stick, isn't it? So now we will see what are the other things that have taken place. Cricket's most important tools are all made of natural, pre-industrial materials. So all the things are of natural things. It is not of any artificial. Everything is of man-made, natural. Or pre-industrial, not made in any industry. Man-made things. Understood? Natural or pre-industrial things. The bat is made with leather, twine and cork. So bat is made of leather, twine is the thread, and cork. Even today, both bat and ball are handmade. So even today also, cricket bat is made by human being. It is not made in the industry. That is what, like we said, natural and pre-industrial material, not made in the industries. And what bat is made of? What are the contents of bat? Leather, twine and cork. The material of the bat changed slightly over time. Once it was cut out of a single piece of wood, now it consists of 2 pieces. So before, how was it covered the end? Then single piece. But now it is of 2 pieces. The blade which is made out of wood and the willow tree, and the handle which is made out of cane. Understood? So that is 2 pieces. That is the first one, the blade. The blade is made out of wood of the willow tree. Wood of the cut out of from cane. Understood? And that had become available as European colonists and trading companies established themselves in Asia. So these are the things these are the changes that have taken place after many times it has gone. Understood? And finally, from the player for the players in Asia, these are the things which are being made. Before it was of single piece, one kind of food only, and there is a curve at the end. And now that curve had been changed into straight one, where the bat is made of. Bat is a content of leather, wine and cork, and it is of two pieces. The blade is the wood of the willow tree and the handle is of the cane. Unlike golf and tennis, cricket has refused to make its tools with industrial and man-made materials. Plastic, fiberglass and metals have been firmly rejected. So they are not using. Which are the things they are not using? They are not using. Which are the things? Is plastic, fiberglass, and metal. These are rejected. These are rejected for making. Understood now? Now look, if you look at the game's equipments, you can see how cricket board changed with the changing times, and it fundamentally remained true to its origin in rural England. Cricket's most important tools are all made of natural, pre-industrial materials. The bat is made with leather, twine and cork. Even today, both bat and ball are handmade, not industrially manufactured. So even today also they are not made under any machines, isn't it? They are all human made things. The material of the bat changed slightly over time. Once it was cut out of a single piece of material used for the bat had changed from the olden time towards the modern. That means first it was consisting of two pieces, the blade which is made out of root of the willow tree and the handle which is made out of cane. That became available as European colonists and trading companies established themselves in Asia. They themselves had made those bats. Unlike golf and tennis, cricket has refused to remake its tools with industrial or man-made materials. Plastic, fiberglass and metal have been firmly rejected. So these things are, that means these materials are being banned or rejected for making this cricket sports material. Understood? But in the matter of protective equipment, cricket has been influenced by technological change. According to the modern technology, the protectiveness, that putting the head and the legs, those things have been changed. Invention of organized rubber led to the introduction of pads. Pads are made of pads, that is in 1848, by organized rubber and a protective glass soon afterwards, and the protective gloves. Soon afterwards, and the modern game would be unimaginable without helmet. Then again, what is the helmet? Today's games are having helmets out of metal. So that head will not get injured. And synthetic lightweight materials, and metals means they are not very hard metals, they are light metals, especially lightweight. That means weight is not there, because that means with that great weight, they will not be able to play smoothly, isn't it? So it is, helmet is there compulsory, and it is of light material, not very hard material, because with that light only they can move, they can run, isn't it? So for their movement it is convenient for the helmet to used by which material? Light materials, not very hard materials. Clear to you? So these are the ones which we even see today. These are the changes that has taken place in the form of cricket. Unlike golf and tennis, cricket has refused to remake its rules with industrial or man-made materials. Plastic, fiberglass, metal have been fairly rejected. But in the matter of protective equipment, cricket has been influenced by technological change. Invention of organized rubber led to the introduction of pads in 1848, and protective gloves soon afterwards, and the modern game will be unimaginable without helmet made of metal and synthetic high-weighted materials. Now the origin of Indian cricket are to be found in Bombay, and the first Indian community to start playing the game was the small community of Zoroastrians. Now these are the things that are being used as equipments, isn't it? These are the modern equipments that have been changed from the modern time. That means today we are using, those who are playing the teams, they are using pads, then protective gloves, helmets, all that they are, gloves and helmets, all that they are using. So from modern time, from the ancient times, this much changes that had occurred. That means after 1848. Now we are coming to the origin. So the first origin was from the Zoroastrians. Zoroastrians, that means the Parsis. The Parsis. So the first origin was from the small community of Zoroastrians, that is the Parsis. Brought into close contact with the British because of their interest in trade. The British had come over here for what? They are being attracted by the trade, by the spices, isn't it? Trade, and the first Indian community to westernize the Parsis founded the first Indian cricket club. That is how the Parsis founded the first cricket club. First cricket club, the Oriental Cricket Club. So which is the first cricket club? Oriental Cricket Club. This is the first cricket club founded by the Parsis in Bombay. It is in Bombay in the year 1848. This is the year when all these changes had come, isn't it? In the year 1848, this is the changes that had come over. So they are the, who are the first, from where was the first origination? Yes, it was from the Zoroastrian, a small community for Zoroastrians or the Parsis, and from there the Parsis had made the first cricket club called the Oriental Cricket Club in the year 1848 in Bombay as the headquarters. Clear to you? Clear? The origins of Indian cricket are to be found in Bombay, and that is why the Indian cricket are found in Bombay. The first Indian community to start playing the game was a small community of Zoroastrians, the Parsis, brought into close contact with the British because of their interest in trade, and the first Indian community to westernize. That means that these Parsis had mingled with the English, isn't it? Mingled with the English people of England, and thus the first team, first cricket club has been originated, and these people had come over here India by, they have been attracted by the spices of India, isn't it? That means mainly they came for trade. First Indian Cricket Club, the Oriental Cricket Club in Bombay in 1848. Parsi Club was funded and sponsored by Parsi businessmen like the Tatas and Vaidas. So now again first is saying about the Parsis. So actually the Parsis are the one who had started the club, isn't it? So now these are the people who had started the club, first people to start the club, and so now their club are being funded by business people like Kumar, Tatas and Vadias. So these people had helped them for their formation. Understood now? Parsi clubs were funded and sponsored. So they are the people sponsored this Parsi club because all the help for the Parsis they will get from these high business people. The white cricket elite in India offered no help to the enthusiastic Parsis. So the white people did not give any kind of help to them. In fact, there was a quarrel between the Bombay Gymkhana, a white schooling club, and Parsi cricketers over the use of a public park. So there was a public park, and so there was a fight between the Bombay Gymkhana gymnastic, those people doing gymnastic, and Parsi cricketers. Because they are having, both are having only one public park. One public park. Because they are being sponsored by these people, isn't it? So these people do not have any kind of help towards them. Understood? So there is only one public park where they started fighting. There was a quarrel between the Bombay Gymkhana, the whites only club, and Parsi. These are the whites, British people, and the Parsis. In fact, there was a quarrel between the Bombay Gymkhana, whites only club, and Parsi cricketers over the use of the public park. Parsi complained that the park was left unfit for cricket because the polo ponies of the Bombay Gymkhana dug up the survey. So, why was the quarrel between there? These people, these Bombay Gymkhanas are using polo horses. So, these horses had made the ground not good enough, isn't it? Because the horses coming over there, the ground was not good enough for the playing of cricket. So that is why the Parsis and the Bombay Gymkhana are fighting. Clear? Complained that the park was left unfit for cricket because the polo ponies of the Bombay Gymkhana dug up the surfaces, making holes on the ground. Because the horse is riding, they make a holes over there, isn't it? The ground is not smooth enough. That is why they are not able to. So only the ground is smooth, they are able to play cricket, isn't it? If the ground, the pitch is not good enough, they will not be able to play the cricket. So that they had these ponies, small ponies, horses. All the ponies are coming over there, and they are making the ground unfit for the playing of cricket. When it became clear that the colonial authorities were prejudiced in favor of their white comrades, so white people supporting the white authorities, isn't it? They are the authorities of the club. So they give help only to those white people, that is Bombay Gymkhana. Comrades, the Paris built their own Gymkhana to play cricket. So the fight was going on, and the Parsis was getting no support from the high authorities. Because they are not getting any kind of help from the high authorities, finally what did the Parsis do? They made another ground for the playing of cricket. Understood? The rivalry between the Pirates and the Bombay Gingana had a happy ending for these pioneers of Indian cricket. Thus, what had come to an end? The quarrel between the Bombay Gingana and the Parsi cricketers came to an end. How did it come to an end? Because the white authorities supported only the white people, that is Bombay Gingana, isn't it? And they did not do any kind of help for whom? Parsis. So what did they do? For a long time they were fighting, but no authorities were able to help them. As a result, what did they do? They started another ground. They found another ground for their cricket match. And as a result, what had come to an end? The fight between the Parsis and the Bombay Gingana had come to an end. Now clear to you? A Parsi team beat the Bombay Gingana at cricket in 1889, just 4 years after the foundation of the Indian National Congress. In 1885, an organization that was lucky to have among its early leaders the great Parsi statesman and intellectual Dadabhai Naoroji. So the rivalry between the Paris and the Bombay Gingana had a happy ending for the pioneers of Indian cricket. Thus it came to an end. The Parsi team beat the Bombay Gingana. So the team there was a match between the Bombay Gingana and the Parsi cricketers in the year 1889. And the Parsis had defeated whom? The Bombay Gingana just 4 years after the foundation of the India. That means during the time of the freedom struggle. Foundation of the International Congress. At time in India, the Indian National Congress had started. Organization, that is in 1885. 1885, Indian National Congress. In INC. That organization has started and our Indian leaders were there. To have among its early leaders are the Parsi statesman and intellectual Dadabhai Naoroji. So who was there? Dadabhai Naoroji. Because it was the time of that freedom struggle and the formation of the Indian National Congress in the year 1885. So the great Indian leader Dadabhai Naoroji was along there. So he was among the Bombay Gingana or the Parsi cricketers. Yes, among the Parsi cricketers. Modern cricket is dominated by test and one-day international played between national teams. So nowadays also cricket, it is of one-day cricket, isn't it? And played between national teams. The players who became famous, who live on the memories of cricket's public, are those who have played for their country, or the freedom fighters. They are the one who have played along with the Parsi cricketers. The players Indian fans remember even now are those who were fortunate enough to play test cricket. C.K. Naidu. C.K. Naidu, outstanding Indian batsman of his time, lives on in the popular imagination when some of the great contemporaries like the Palwankar Vidal and Palwankar Balu has been forgotten. Even though Naidu was past his cricketing prime when he played for India in his first test matches against England starting in 1932. His place in India's cricket is assured because he was the country's first test captain. Who was the country's first captain? C.K. Naidu. So he was a memorable person. India entered the world of test cricket in 1932, a decade and a half before it became an independent nation. This was possible because test cricket from its origin in 1877 was organized as a contest between different parts of the British Empire, not sovereign nations. The first test was played between England and Australia when Australia was still a white settler colony. Similarly, the small countries of the Caribbean that together make up the West Indies team were British colonies still well after the Second World War. Television coverage changed cricket. So with the coming of the television, how much popularity the match had occurred. Television coverage changed cricket. It expanded the audience for the game by beaming cricket into small towns and villages. In those times, nobody was able to see the matches in it. Only very rare. Only high class people were able to come and watch the team matches in it. But with the convention of coming of the television sets, even in villages, the popularity began to develop, isn't it? That means in one place the TV means placed, all the people of that village, of that area will come over there, sit in front of them and watch. So the interest of the people started slowly increasing, isn't it? To watch the match. Children who had never previously had a chance to watch international, that means in olden times only the affordable people, that means the high class people, rich people used to go and watch all this, and those people only will have in the TV also. So with the coming of the TV, it came popular among everyone, especially the children, because they lived outside the big cities, could now watch and learn by imitating the heroes. That is how first they started imitating the heroes of the cricket match. Even today also it is going on, isn't it? The technology of satellite television and the worldwide reach of multinational television companies created a global market for cricket. Matches in Sydney could now be watched live in Surat. So if we sit at home, we can watch cricket if it is going on any part of the world, isn't it? Just sit in front of your TV screen. Since India had the largest viewership for the game among the cricket playing nations, largest market in the cricketing world, the game center of gravity shifted to South Asia. So India is having the more viewers, highest people viewing the cricket match. This shift is symbolized by the shifting of the ICC headquarters from London to tax-free Dubai. 150 years ago, the first Indian cricketers, the Parsis, had to struggle to find an open space to play. That means at first when they wanted to play, they had to fight with the Bombay Gingana, isn't it? And after a long fight only, finally they got a place to play, isn't it? But today, the global marketplace has made Indian players the best paid, most famous cricketers in the game, men for whom the world is a stage. Anywhere they are ready to pay, because what are we giving them? We are giving them money. So how much money we are giving to them? So they are ready to come and play in any part of the world. The transformation was made up by many smaller changes. The replacement of generally amateur by the paid professional. So olden times is only playing, encouraging the game, people will be there, isn't it? But now if they wanted to play, what we have to give them? We have to pay for them. The triumph of the one-day game as it overshadowed Test cricket in terms of popularity and the remarkable changes in global commerce and technology. So as the science is developing, modern technology is developing day by day, and as a result there are changes coming over in this, and not only in cricket, in every field, in all kinds of development we can see, isn't it? Actually, so that is why today only the money is the most important. So if money is there, these players are ready to come and play for us. And sitting in our home itself, we can watch the game, whether they can be in any part of the world. Understood now? So all these things you have to read, just to read the lessons carefully, understand the lesson. First we have studied how it had been started in olden times and who was the first person about 500 years back in England, isn't it? Going back to 500 years, and then the peculiarities of the cricket, which has been started playing for 5 days and coming to an end, draw, isn't it? And from that time onwards, what had happened when the as far as football or baseball is concerned, only time consuming. They are all time consuming. Only just 1.5 or less than half an hour is needed, but cricket was having the long duration, 5 days, isn't it? Then we have talked about the characteristics, which are the characteristics about the pitch, which is of 22 yards. And then as far as cricket is concerned, there is no need of looking over the shape or the size of the ground, isn't it? But as far as other games are being concerned, but the dimension of the area is required. But for cricket, only the pitch of 22 yards is sufficient. That all we had come. Then we had come to the historical reason. The first law of cricket was published in the year of 1744, where the two umpires were there, and there is a difference between 22 inches high and the bail of 6 inches. And the ball is of 5 to 6 ounce and the stump is of 25 yards apart. Then again coming to the 1970s and 1770s and 60s, there is again the change had come. A common pitch is needed and third stump also had used, and instead of that curved stick, straight stick has been used. And in 1780, instead of 5 days, it has come to an end of 3 days. Then again we are coming back to the equipments. What are the things which are fully, they are all handmade things. Nothing was made from any kind of pre-industrial things, isn't it? It is nothing of industrial. First ball is made of leather, twine and cork. And then slightly it has changed. That means first it has been used by a single wood. Lately it was of 2 pieces. One is from the wood of the willow tree and the other one blade willow tree and the handle of the cane. And from again there we had come back to the materials used. Materials which are being rejected, plastic, fiberglass and hard metals. Those were rejected and they are all made by human beings. Then we have come to the modern development, science invention of the science. That means technology, according to the modern technology, invention of organized rubber. What I had introduced the pads in 1848, introduction of the pads. Then the protective gloves and the helmet. But the helmet is not of a hard material. It is of lightweight material. So all that are the equipments and how much difference it had come from the 500 years back. Understood? Now then later we have come to the origin. That means of the small communities, Zoroastrians or the Parsis had mingled with whom, had been against whom, the English, isn't it? Then they are having only one public park where the English were not, the Parsis were not able to play over there because the whites used to bring their ponies and the ground, the pitch was unfit for playing the cricket. And finally, what did the Parsis do? They had found another ground for themselves and they had defeated in their first cricket match whom the English. By that time, the Indian National Congress had started, so the great leaders, Indian leaders had come to join the cricket. Who was the first one? Dadabhai Naoroji. Then again coming to the modern cricket, about the test match, one day test and one day international games played between national teams, and about the players. Who was the first test captain? C.K. Naidu. C.K. Naidu, he became the popular person, and after that again the test cricket started from 1932 during the Second World War. Then with the coverage, with the development of the television set, coverage had given for vast coverage, especially in the villages and other rural areas. because those people were not able to watch the match. But now with the development of television sets, their children started to adapt the heroes, isn't it? Their own heroes. Then imitating the heroes, then finally the changes as far as it is concerned. The majority viewers are in India, and so their headquarters has been shifted from London to Dubai. And finally, in any place they are able to play because they are being paid professionals. That means only the payment money was there, they are ready to play at any place. So now we come to the end of the, I hope you have understood about the story of cricket. Now today all are very interested in playing, so now I think you got an idea about the origin and what are the changes India had taken from those years 1772 even today. Yet you all will read the lesson very well.